Hi, welcome. Today I would like to talk about C# classes, inheritance and virtual and interfaces. So let's get started. So one of the things you can do is go into the view and you can view the class diagram. And this will give you a good overview of what your classes look like. So for example, I have created a class called living and you can see it has basically two members, name and weight, and there are methods date, born and living. Another thing you can check here is the modifiers you can apply to the various methods and fields, and it's pretty easy to see. Public means it's going to be accessible by anybody. Private means it is going to be accessible by only methods in the same class, and protected means it can also be accessed by the subclasses of that particular class. So in this case example, if I make it protected, it means it can be accessed by the cat class as well as the dog class. And the internal usually just means that it is only accessible from a particular program and it cannot be accessed outside the program. But those are the more widely used. So you can see the accessors you can apply to various methods. And here what I have shown is that the dog and the cat are both inheriting from the living class, and I have also added an interface called home. And so let's just take a quick look at these classes and see how this is done. So if you look at the living class, it's basically, as I discussed, it has the weight and the name. I put in a constructor so that I can set the weight and the name for the living being. And I've also added a virtual function, which is basically means that I would like it to be implemented in the subclasses. And here you can see the color I've set for the printing on the console to be red, and it just says living date born call, so it doesn't set any date. So if I look at the dog example, the way to do it is we want to say the dog inherits from living, so the syntax for that is pretty straightforward, colon living. And in the constructor I have the weight and the name, and I also have a field called the owner. So what I'm going to do is I put in a variable called the dog in the class dog called owner, which I'm setting here. And I'm also setting whenever this is a constructor is called to be datetime.now. And at this point I want to be able to call the superclasses constructor, and the syntax for that is essentially colon base, and I give it the parameters. And here you can see that I am overriding the virtual function. And so if an object of the type dog is created, it's going to essentially call this function. Another thing I can show you here is that C# only has single inheritance. So if I try to inherit this from some other class, for example, let's say object, is going to give me a twiggly, say class dog cannot have multiple base classes. So the C# does not support multiple classes. The only other thing you can do is to inherit from multiple interfaces. So I had an interface, so I can show you how you could do that. So if I just say iHome, but when I do this, you can see it is complaining that this class does not implement the home color member, does not implement the method light on, light off. So if I wanted to basically inherit from this class, essentially I have to implement all those methods. And so it is really interface is just providing a contract. So you can inherit from as many interfaces as you want, but if you want to access from one superclass, there's only one class you can access from. So as I was showing you the class diagram, here it is. You can look at the properties for the interface. You got the color, the methods, and everything else. And if you look at the code, it's pretty straightforward. I just have methods light on and off, just the prototypes. They need to be implemented in whoever wants to do this thing. So if I just look at my program right now, I can show you that I created a dog. So I gave it the parameters, the weight, the name, and the owner, and a cat. Here I just got a being, which basically means I take the dog and cast it to living and assign it to being. And you can see being date.born, you can check here. Then I can, since a cat is also living and it is accessing inheriting, I can also say being is equal to cat, and I can also call being date.born. So if I just try to run this, for example, what you will see is pretty straightforward. It says the dog date born called, and it's actually, you can see that it is calling the dog method. And if I look at the variables for being, you can see it has all of the variables that a dog used to have: name, owner, and weight. And if I just step over here over this, and if I look at the variables for the cat, so now the variable being has a different set of things. It has the color and the name and the weight, so different things. And if I just kind of let it go through, you can see it is going to call the method for the date born called. So it's pretty much what you have to do. If you don't want to put in an override, so let's say if I remove the override from here, and if I just try to build it, it is going to just create a different function and not the virtual function. And actually I can just get rid of this, for example, and if I just stop it for a second. So what I did was I basically removed the function that was virtual in the living class, the date born, and I ran the program again, and it was removed from the cat. So if I run it again, you can see when it calls the cat method, it's going to call the original living superclass function. So that's how you can use inheritance and design your programs efficiently in C#. Thank you for watching this short screencast. If you want to see these and other videos, I would encourage you to go to my website, and you can search for many different types of videos, including the programming videos, and the search is going to be basically Gaur Associates. And here, for example, you have the dance video, music videos, and you can also get all the programming videos. Thank you for watching this short screencast again.